Hello everybody and welcome to my very own SEAT Ibiza FR. So the model I specifically own is the 1.6 TDI FR. It's a very, very similar chassis underneath. Ooh, puddle! Very similar chassis underneath to the one that you get in the VW Polo. Talking of Volkswagen, 99% of the bits that go together to make this car are straight off the VW production line. The only bits that aren't are the badges and the bumpers. As you will have seen, my paperwork wasn't going very smoothly this morning, so I thought, sod this, let's just go out and finally make a review of my car. So here we are. And the first thing to say is, a lot of it really annoys me. In a built-up area like we're in now, driving this car is like pushing along a rice pudding. The clutch is heavy, the steering is lumbersome. The reason for this, of course, is because it's a diesel. But that's no excuse, because there are a lot of small diesel cars around that are far easier to drive at low speeds than this is. Fancy a croissant. The other irritant is the ride. It's rough, it's jiggly, it shakes the living daylights out of you when you're on a bumpy road. And then we come to the ride height. Don't get me wrong, isn't ridiculously low. By no means is this car slammed, but with those stiffened front springs, the front of the car is probably about that high off the ground, which is not enough for the Devonshire roads, I'm afraid. Even on a fairly uneven country lane, the whole car drags its chin along like some sort of snowplow. Exactly like that. And the noise the car makes is the car version of the noise that your pet rabbit makes when someone kicks it. Ah. The only reason I went for the diesel engine in this car was because of its efficiency. Put it this way, I have managed to do a near as makes no difference 700-mile round journey on just £55 worth of diesel. So if I were to work that out, the car's got a 40-litre fuel tank and we did just under 700 miles. So the average miles per gallon would be it would be high. The miles per gallon would be high. That's right. There's a lot on your skin. So, it's not looking promising for the Ibiza so far. I mean, it's uncomfortable, it's hard work to drive, it isn't overly practical, and the front end is closer to the ground than a Lady Beaver's beaver. But once you're away from the traffic, and the houses, and the cats crossing the road, and the police, things are very different. Don't get me wrong, as a driver's car, I know the petrol version would be a million times better than this. But if you catch this gearbox in the right gear at the right time, it's not bad at all. Now let's get back to that stupendous stiffness in the suspension. Suddenly, when you're going a little bit faster on a road like this, where you've got off-camber corners and tricky little apexes, it gives you the confidence to chuck your car into the corner, fairly certain you'll come out the right way up on the other side. And you've got to bear in mind that this doesn't have a clever differential like a Golf R or a GTI. It's actually the same diff you get on a VW Polo. It's like a chubby Jack Russell just clawing away at the corner, pulling itself in. And despite this obviously being my own car, I really think it's as good, if not better looking, than some of its biggest rivals. I actually think it's better looking than a Golf. In fact, the Ibiza's intricate and angular styling is thanks to a man called Luke Donkerwalk, who before he designed the Ibiza was responsible as head of design at Lamborghini for the Diablo, the Murcielago and the Gallardo, and those are three of my favourite cars of all time. And that's quite a biography for a car like this. Now obviously this is a very, very different car to those fire-spitting Lamborghinis, but there is something almost Lamborghini-like about living with this car. I think it's that irritation and frustration when you're trying to parallel park it and you're getting all sweaty because it's so heavy. But once you get it on the right piece of road, just like with a big old Lamborghini, you remember why you bought it. When I come to replace this car, it will not be difficult to find a new car that is better. But it might be quite tricky to find one I love in the same way.